The market pushes lower before the bulls step in and take charge. Have we finally seen the end of wave 4? Find out next on Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in the after hours, the bears were able to push down and break the March 7th low, but they weren't strong enough to break the February 24th low, and then the bulls took over and gave us a quite impulsive-looking rally. Now, this doesn't mean that we're out of the woods on wave 4 yet, as the bears do have some options. I'll get into that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP500 and the Nasdaq. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, with the reversal here and the impulsive-looking rally, the bulls have the ball in their court, but they are not out of the woods yet and have some work to do. So let's jump into the charts and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 30-minute futures chart for the S&P 500, and I've pulled it back just a little bit so we can see a little more of the structure before I zoom into this area here, so you'll be able to see this better in just a minute. So as it stands right now, with the bears pushing down here in the overnights and breaking this low, that invalidated this potential of a leading diagonal here. And quite frankly, I'm okay with that because I don't like diagonals. They're not trustworthy. And this is a much cleaner, impulsive structure up. So with this 2 wave here invalidated, okay, but not being able to break this lower low over here from February 24th, the 2 just moves over to here for now. So what we're looking at from the low back on February 24th is this move up being wave 1, and this move down being wave 2, and then starting wave 1 of 3 of wave 1 up, okay? So that's what the bulls are looking at in this slightly bigger issue is we've got a 1-2 in place, and we're working on building a 1 of 3. So for the bears, okay, if you remember last week, we talked about the potential for a bigger ABC correction for a bigger wave 4. So we still have this 3 down here as our alternate bearish count, where this move up would be A, the new low would be B, and we'd be making a C wave up towards 4,400 to complete that cycle and put wave 4 here, okay, of this degree. So you see this 3, wave 4 would come up here where the C is, and then we would see wave 5 down to a lower low to complete bigger wave 4. Okay, so those are the 2 main counts we're looking at in the structure we have right now. Is the bull count is that we have a 1-2 in place, and we're building off of that. And as I said, we'll zoom into this in just a second. And for the bears, it's that we're tracking a bigger A, B, C up, okay, for a bigger wave 4 in the 4,400 area, then get wave 5 down. So today was actually very encouraging for the bulls. They got a very impulsive structure up, and I actually have it kind of in an aggressive count, but we can adjust that if we need to. So let's zoom in and look at what happened today. So as I said, today for the bulls was a very encouraging day. So I can actually make 2 5-wave arguments on this structure. The first one being an aggressive count that I have labeled, and the second one being a little bit less aggressive. So the reason I have 2 5-wave counts is this is a very clean 5-wave structure up to this 4208 area. We got a small pullback, a 382 retrace here, and then we got a strong drive up, okay, that looks a lot like a wave 3 of 3. So there are a few reasons for this. Number 1, okay, the positive divergence on the 1-hour MACD on this low is really strong. The bottoming signals on the 4-hour charts and the weekly charts are strong for both the ES and the NQ, and the oversold nature of this market is strong and can support very strong big rallies. So quite often when that happens, you see a shallow wave 2. So on this pullback here, we have a nice 5-wave structure up and then a 382 retrace here on this wave 2, which would be a shallow wave 2, and I understand that. Then, okay, we pushed up through the pivot at 4239, over the 1.0 extension at 4257, and now I've traded sideways above the pivot from there. So the telling factor on which count is right, whether my more aggressive 1-2 count is right as I have it, or if this is the top of wave 1, in which case this 1 here would just move to here, okay? If that's the case, what will tell us that is the pivot and our support levels. So when we look at the pivot of the move up, remember that's the 0.618 and 0.764 of waves 1 and 2 here. And so our micro pivot was 4227 up to 4239. They were able to push up through that and over the 1.0 extension at 4257. So now any pullback from here must hold this 4227 to keep my count valid. Okay, so that is the pivot of this 1-2 that I have set up in the more aggressive structure. If they hold 42.27 or above that and push up towards this 43.06 area, then I am very inclined to believe that this 1-2 count is correct. And then we get 3, 4, and 5 up towards 43.36 which would complete wave 1 of wave 3 of bigger wave 1. So remember, this bottom down here is wave 2, right? So we're building wave 3 as we move up, and wave 3 needs 5 waves, and each of those waves need 5 waves. So in this case, wave 1 of 3 needs 5 waves, so you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to give us wave 1 of 3 of the bigger wave 1 we're trying to build. Okay? I hope that makes sense. I know it gets a little bit complicated when you get that deep in degree of wave count. So again, any pullback has to hold 42.27 for the count as I have it labeled to be correct. All right. Now, for this count to be correct, where you would have 1 up here, okay, then the pullback would break the 42.27 pivot area, and we would look for support in the 41.96 down to the 41.60 range. So that is our support level for the bigger wave 1 up here. So what we're watching for now is what happens from here. We've kind of traded sideways and nothing has happened. But if and when they pull back, okay, and they can still extend this move can still extend up to the 1236, the 1382. They can push this directly higher. But if they pull back, okay, and we hold the 4227 and push back up towards 4306, then I like the wave 1 being down here where I had it. If, however, 4227 doesn't hold the pullback, then we would look for our support zone to hold. Our wave 2 would just move over to wherever that bottom is in that support zone, and then we would look to start building that wave 3 up from there. Okay, so essentially 4227 is what we're watching for the pullback. If that breaks, then it's more likely that the 1 is where I have it right now instead of down here. However, if 4227 can hold and they can push higher, then it's much more likely that we have the 1 in place already and the 2 in place, and we're building out this wave 3 towards 4306. So the tricky part about wave 1s is, are they a 1, 2, 3 setup or an ABC setup that you get trapped in? So that's what we're watching for the bearish side. Remember, the B wave low would be where this 2 is right here. So down here we have the B wave low, and we would be building this wave C up towards this 4400 area. So the bears can continue to push it higher and make it look a lot like this structure here. So it looks a little bit confusing, but if they continue to push it higher up to this 4400 area, at that point I would start to worry about it being a wave C. And then we would have to watch our pullback from this area to see if it's a 3-wave pullback that can hold support and start the next leg higher, or if it's going to break support and continue down to be wave 5 to complete that bigger wave 4 down here towards that 40-50 region. So those are the 2 main counts we're watching on the ES. Again, a little bit different on the N-Cube. It made an overall lower low down here, so it is actually starting from scratch. The ES held its low, so we were able to have a 1-2 count. But on the NQ, it made a lower low, so we're starting from scratch. And it had a nice 5-wave structure up, as you can see here, okay, which would complete wave 1 of bigger wave 1 of bigger wave 5. So the potential we have here on the NQ is that wave 1 has completed, and we would be looking for a pullback. Now, again, they can push this higher and extend this wave out, but if this is the top, the pullback support we would be looking for is 13.213 down to 13.069, okay, to hold support. And then we would look to have our wave 2 of 1 there, and then start wave 3 of 1 up from that point. So the Nasdaq is actually in an earlier stage than the ES, which appears to be trying to build wave 3, whereas the Nasdaq has built wave 1 and is now looking for its wave 2 to put in place. Guys, if you like the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. Head on over there. There's a link down in the description. It will take you right to the page. And check out our membership plans. We have 2 amazing plans. They both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to try this out. I want you to love it, and I want you to make sure it's for you before you ever spend a penny, okay? But get in there. We've got my room, which is the Invest with Jacob room. You get my real-time market updates, my buy and sell alerts, as well as I answer all of your Elliott Wave questions. Now, in my room, I do only trade the SPY and the QQQ. So if you are looking for individual stocks as well as a trading method that absolutely crushes the market, I put a testimonial in yesterday's video. Check out the testimonials at the bottom of this page. The guys absolutely love PT, and he is one of the best traders I've ever been around, and this is PT's throne room. Okay, in PT's throne room, you get everything in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as you get the individual stock trading, his reduced risk binary options method that just crushes the market. And again, he is one of the best traders you've ever seen, and you get a 7-day free trial. So get in there, check it out, make sure it's something you want. Hopefully it is, and then we can make some money together, guys. Okay, key takeaways for today. The bulls did their job today. They built a 5-wave structure. For me, we are watching a few different paths here. One is the aggressive bull count. If they can continue to push up from here and hold this 42.27 area, then I think we are more likely in this wave 3 instead of in wave 1. However, if 42.27 does break, we would look for our wave 1 top to be here at the top, at the high from yesterday, and the support zone to be at the 41.96 to 41.60 level, where we would look for wave 2 to have support. Okay. Now, for the bearish count, we would still look for higher because we are looking at a bigger A up at the top there that we looked at earlier, the B down and the C up towards 4,400. And again, we'll have to see how this plays out and then see what the pullback looks like to distinguish between the two should they continue this push higher. On the NQ, they made a new lower low, so they built a 5-wave structure that could be our fresh wave 1 of 5 up. We would look for a pullback on the NQ to hold the 13,213 down to the 13,069 range. All right, guys, that is the market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.